Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ARAP, the all-random, all-podcast... Shit, we forgot to do the countdown.
Sorry, I got you covered, guys. I'm clapping.
Hang on. We'll just do it now. Ready, everyone? 3, 2, 1... Welcome to the ARAP podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The all-random, all-podcast. The all-random, all-podcast, starring me, Viktor. That's right, Viktor. The best Viktor, the real Viktor, and definitely the only Viktor you should be listening to. And this week we have a great guest of a great selection of hosts here for you all to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, of course, Mr. Tribal Mind.
Greetings, all.
Hi, guys.
What kind of wine are you drinking tonight, Mod?
Shiraz.
Good choice. I got drunk on Shiraz last night. Did you know that? There you go, because I was at a wedding. So, hello, everybody. This is Mod Bro. Well, hello, Mod Bro.
AKA a giant bottle of wine.
Everyone knows some Mod Bro. And, of course, this week represented by a Lego figure, BMG.
Hey, what's up?
There you go.
I didn't even know what I was represented as this week.
You are just a little...
We discussed that.
You're just a little construction Lego man.
Mate, I want to be a dinosaur.
That's a shame.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Maintenance.
Welcome to the show. We're going to get into a little bit of maintenance.
Can we start again?
Welcome to the rap show.
Okay, you finish that mouthful, and then you do your Victor spiel. We'll try this again.
That would be great. I think I was off time.
Go!
What are you eating?
I don't know, he's just
Oh my god.
So we're going to get into a little bit of maintenance tonight. The first thing I actually want to talk about, and I'm going to get a very special guest to talk about this, so I'll be back in like half a second.
I know what he's doing.
It's
He's
taking
putting
longer
my
than we
hat.
expected.
Hello everybody, my name is Viktor and welcome to another amazing episode of the All Random All Podcast starring me, Viktor. That's right, Viktor, the best Viktor, the real Viktor, and definitely the only Viktor you should be listening to. Hello everybody, it is very good to be here. It's an absolute pleasure to finally have access to this goddamn show. Probably one of the worst shows I've ever been on, but you know what, it's finally good to actually be here. I've never even been here before. Hello everybody. I have a very special message to tell you about, so I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I'm going to be doing 7 days of Viktor shows. Not 6, 7 days of Viktor shows. There you go. That's the announcement. I'm going to go now. Goodbye everybody.
I had so many questions. I've been waiting for him to come on so I could talk to him.
You might just have to see if you can guest star on one of the 7 days of Victor.
Hey, what's up?
No, it's not one of it. It's actually 7 days.
Oh, hey, Victor! You missed
24
out
hours.
on Victor! Victor was just here.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Some
He
dude,
just said he was here. I don't know.
he just, invaded your stream for a few seconds and then jumped out.
Oh,
because
cool.
you were too busy eating dinner.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, there you go. Next week, we have a very special... Oh, does anyone want to ask questions about the Victor shows?
I do.
Okay.
How long will the 7 days go for?
Believe it or not, half an hour every day for 7 days.
So
Are
it's
you
like
guest
3.5
starring people?
hours worth.
Something like that.
Are you guest starring people?
No.
Just you having a rant?
It's
just
just gonna be a regular Victor show every day for 7 days.
What about Badger? Will Badger be on it?
Likely, yes. Because, I don't know, I might just say, hey, Badger, you want to come on? And he'll be like, yeah, okay, why not?
You sounded just like that other guy that was just on.
Did I?
Just then.
What other
He had
guy?
like a Russian accent. It was really strange.
Did he have a Russian
I
accent?
don't really know what's going on.
That's so cool. He had a Russian accent. I've always wanted to meet someone with a Russian accent. Moving on, we actually have some guests on a guest on next week. It's going to be very cool. And to tell us about this is Tribal Mind.
Yeah, as we would have discussed last week, or at the end of last week, we will be discussing furry subculture. Because, well, a lot of people have no idea what the furry subculture is, and those that do sometimes are quite misinformed. So, basically, I've lined up one of the Furballed cast. Furballed is a furry podcast, Australian-based. I'm not quite sure which of the three is going to be on, but we'll have one on to help us discuss it, and as I'm sure you're aware by now, I am, or was, a furry, and Scott is, or kind of is, a furry. I don't quite know how he sits with that, but, I mean, Scott's never on, so it'll basically be me and him probably discussing it, and these other three asking questions, and anyone else who wants to ask questions, send them in.
I have a lot of questions to ask.
I'm sure you do, Mod. You always do.
You can wait another week. Probably not. You'll probably explode by then, but it's fine.
Yes, Mod.
Just on the whole furry thing. Okay, you're calling it a subculture. What is it a subculture of?
It's a subculture in the fact that it is a culture that exists as a small group. It's not like a sub of a culture.
Is it within the cosplaying culture, or is it above that and it's actually a part
separate.
of society? Is there people walking around in Melbourne dressed like cats that I don't know about?
There may be fursuiters hanging around Melbourne. I do know there's people that fursuit around Brisbane once a month or so for some fun. There's specific rules to that and things like that, which is similar to what a cosplay rules are. But, you know, it's a culture that exists. It's called a subculture because it's a culture that isn't out in the open to a degree. Like, it's kind of like, you know, Trekkies or something, or goths or punks. You know, they exist. If you look hard enough, you'll find some, but, you know, they're not main culture. It is sub to main culture.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. After our last chat, I actually went and talked to my uncle because you said about the furries. So I went up and asked him, and it turns out he's just Indian and super hairy. So he's not part of the furry peoples. But
entirely
I'm still
wrong
on the lookout.
concept there.
There's none that I've seen in Newcastle, but I've got my eyes open.
And more on that next week. Thank you very much, Mod Bro. And we're gonna move on real quick. Me and Bo are having another announcement.
Big announcement, best announcement, and
It was actually a
ring, Bo. Show us the ring. Put the ring to the camera, Bo.
I mean, I'm a Lego piece, so I don't know what you want from
Change
me.
it to a picture to a Lego piece with an engagement ring.
Probably not. Okay, so back to the announcement.
Me and Bo are starting a Star Wars guild on Star Wars: The Old Republic, which the running name at the moment is the Guild of Dreams, because that's just kind of what I wrote in the document.
Hey, I thought it was Get Korriband.
Actually, that's right. We're gonna make it Get Korriband. I actually like that name. We're gonna call it Get Korriband. It is it is gonna be an Imperial guild based on the Harbinger servers, North American. So, if you are a SWTOR player and you reside within the Harbinger,
and you are interested in raiding, it's not PvP or just casual talk about, it's progression style raiding.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd chuck that in there.
Yeah, it will be.
Like SWTOR 2 or?
No, it's just called SWTOR. SWTOR. And we will be running enlistments for players. I am the guild leader. Bo is the raid leader. We will be planning guilds, maybe 2 to 3 times. Not guilds, sorry. We'll be planning to do raids and things like that 2 to 3 times a week. Because we're just getting started off, we're probably just going to do some flashpoints and actually find some people to get the guild started with, because there is a minimum number you need to actually start up the guild. So if we have any listeners out there who are Star Wars players, please jump on Twitter or jump into SWTOR itself and add Victor Pradley or someone like that, and whisper.
Or Bella. I'll always be on Babella.
Or Bobella, and you can whisper us.
Bobela.
You can whisper us in game. If you're the Twitter sort, you can follow me at Victor Pradley. You can also follow the at GuckoPix Gaming Twitter handle as well, and tweet me there, and I will see both of them. Or either. So, there you go. They're the SWTOR announcements. And also, me and Bo are going to start up our own Star Wars show, or SWTOR show, which will probably run once a week or once every couple weeks, depending upon how it is. It's kind of like what we're currently doing in Star Wars, or what we plan to do, and also some Star Wars news. So we can talk about,
sort of like a news thing, yeah.
Yeah, so what's coming in the next expansion? They announced that a new companion is coming out, and he's going to be the dude from the actual original, what are they called? The cinematics they made. He was the smuggler dude from the introduction cinematic where the Jedis and the Sith had that really cool fight. And there was just one guy with the double pistols going pew 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 pew, and he thought he was really cool or something. That guy's a fucking loser.
You never see him again.
You never see him again.
Yeah, you will.
So there you go. He's actually coming back, and he's going to be a companion. So there you go. Sneak peek on some news. All right. Now there's another maintenance point there, but I can't read it because I don't have an updated one because I'm on my phone and I
I
can't.
think this is a Mod Bro thing, so Mod Bro. House. Go.
I think he's having connection issues.
Alright, well, he said, I guess what it says is
Mod
he
bro.
won't be there in
Mod
5
bro.
weeks.
Mod bro.
What? I don't know.
What the hell?
He's selling his house, basically, and so he won't be there he won't be here on the podcast in 5 weeks, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's it. We'll ask him when he comes back.
He seems to be breaking up a bit too much.
Yeah, we're having some terrible Mod bro issues tonight. Actually, I think Tribal's hosting the call as well. How's your internet, Tribal?
My upload's about 1 megabit per second, so it should be okay.
Okay, yours is better than mine, so we'll keep it that. We're going to get into some topics. We're going to get into some topics this week, okay? Mod Bro's dropped. He'll probably be back. I might have to fix the layout. That's going to be super annoying. But we're going to get into some topics, and tonight's main topic is value of games. Woo! Now I know what you're saying.
Oh, about 2250.
Now I know what you're saying. Victor Pradley, you ain't got a clue what you're talking about. You ain't got a clue what you're talking about, Victor Pradley. What does value of games mean? And that's why I wrote down 20 goddamn points to talk about the value of games.
So games are worth 20 points.
So let's knock them out of the park and only spend 5 minutes on each because you said 20.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
There you go. So let's get into it. Who wants to introduce the first couple bullet points?
I'll go.
Or introduce the topic?
Point number 1. Length versus not a shite game. So, is a game valuable if it's really good but short? Or is it valuable if it's really long but shite? Or where do you find a mid-ground on that one?
I honestly thought you were going to say length versus girth. I was going to say it's good to have both. But now I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say it's good to have both length and good game.
Length, it's good to have both. All right. I have actually played a game which was extremely fun. I don't know if anyone's played it. It's on the PS2 called The Bouncer. And it's basically very similar to Final Fantasy, how you run around the map and all of a sudden music plays and you're in a battle scene. Except when you go into that battle scene, it was like Mortal Kombat. So you actually fought and you had combos where you could do amazing moves where you'd rip people in half and kill them. But in playing the game, I think I finished it in about 8 hours. And then when you finish it, it unlocks like the medium level. And then you go through the exact same storyline again and get more and more abilities, but fighting harder opponents. And then you go to the hard level, insane, and you just keep going up and up.
So that's basically New Game Plus style.
Yeah, exactly right. But it was a fucking amazing game. I think I played it about 6 times through, and I still remember it today. So to me that says it was worth what it was worth, but, you know.
Reminds me a
always
little bit
left
of,
you feeling empty.
You
Don't talk
should
with your
finish
mouth
what
full,
you're eating.
Victor. Don't talk with your mouth full.
my mouth isn't full.
Yeah, I know. There's so many jokes I could make right now, but I'd prefer to just watch you finish that mouthful.
And then talk
And
afterwards.
Because it's called a comeback.
Reminds me of,
30 seconds and say,
reminds me of Diablo.
Yeah,
Bo?
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say Diablo. That's how the old Diablo system used to work. It was like you went, you did, I don't know what it's called, normal mode or whatever, and then
Yeah.
you go up to like advanced, and then you go up to like hell and insane and all that stuff. But like you had to finish the first one and then go to the next one. But it's not like that anymore. But
Yeah.
it used to be. You still need to
I'm
beat
very
the game
confused.
to get
I never actually
hell
finished
mode.
Diablo without cheating.
What's wrong with you?
I never really played Diablo, so
Great game.
He's worse than me. He's worse than me.
I played the newest one because my mates were playing it and we all played through it. But yeah,
Okay, I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, you probably played it when it came out, when it was shit. Now it's good.
no, I played
I
it
played
shortly
the
after it
demo.
came out on Xbox because it was an Xbox release that my mates had.
Oh.
So
Oh, see, there's your problem. PC Master Race.
it's not a game I've gotten into. Divine Divinity and things like that, yeah, but Diablo I never actually got into.
Well, to each his own, I guess.
No, it's just they didn't buy the game, and I get stuck on
Yeah.
strategy games. So
That's fair enough. You
Okay.
got enough time not enough time on your hands with all your biznatch.
Yeah.
it's the worst thing actually. I have the least time for gaming, and the games I love take the longest time to play.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So anyway.
games take forever.
The games we've brought up so far, the Diablo, and I've forgotten the name of the one you spoke of, Mod Bro.
Bouncer.
Bouncer.
So,
Oh, was that a PS2 game?
you
Yes, it
did
was.
say that, correct?
I think I've played that.
It was fantastic.
You have like 3 characters or something, like this big burly dude and this skinnier sort of tall dude and then this kind of midget dude.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, okay, I remember that one.
That's it, that's it.
There's this one level where you're like on the train and you just got to walk over and open up the boxes and find a key.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I know what game he's talking
nice,
about.
Nice and simple. Yeah, great game, but
That was a
unfortunately,
very fun game. And okay, so the first games we've talked about, they're games with replayability, and so the value you get out of a game is more so, I'd say, based on the player than the game itself. Because if you can just keep playing it through and through again, it's more up to the player how long he wants to keep playing this game. And
See, I have that with Oblivion, like, because I played, like, I don't even know how many times I played through Oblivion. I can't count that many times. But basically, I bought it on, like, Xbox, and then I bought it on computer, and I played the computer version barely at all, but I found out that I got, like, 100 hours on it. So, I actually did play it quite a bit.
Well, I mean, if we want to look at an example for a short game and one that it has replayability, but it's very story driven, bring up one that's been mentioned before, Darkness 2.
Oh, Darkness 2. Oh,
And
gives
Darkness
me
2,
shivers.
as a game, that is, like, I hate first person shooters and I love that game. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's really, really freaking short. For a game.
Aw. It's like, yeah, actually, it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like 2.5, 3 hours if you're bad. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got replayability, like you can play it again, but it's very straightforward. And like, as I said, the story is what really pushes it. So there it comes down to, like, I got that in a bundle pack, so I didn't pay much for it. So for me, it was well and truly worth the value. But if I'd paid $60 for that game, I wouldn't want that game, despite how much I enjoyed it.
I reckon it was worth my $60. I played through that game like at least 5 times.
yeah,
So I'm like, I played $80 for it, I think.
it's a bit.
I
It's
have not paid money for a game since about 2000. No, probably 1998 or something.
oh yeah.
Except for all those microtransactions.
When
League's probably about $1,400 in. Yeah.
Yeah, the game I normally think about when I think about replayability is Lilac Wars, the old Star Fox game on 64.
Love it.
That's one of the most There you go.
Brofist.
One of the most
Oh.
replayable games probably on the planet.
Magnolia fan is with us on this one.
Yeah, and you could finish.
Starbucks, we need help.
Yeah, you could finish the first level down to Venom in. Would you say an hour? Less than an hour? Like you'd get through it. You can get through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
You can get through it pretty quick, and you're like, yeah, that was good. And then you start over again, and you could probably spend 12 hours playing this game, and you basically be doing the same shit over and over again. But it's just so much fun.
I will say this: it was cool because the harder level you did it and how you finished it, you actually had different endings. Like
Yeah, there were
secrets,
two different
so you just kept
endings.
doing it again and again.
There
That
were
was a
two
great
different
game.
endings.
Cool back.
Just,
Can we just have a minute and just think about that for a while?
Yeah, Star Fox. Oh yeah, fucking Star Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a new Star Fox game coming out.
Oh yeah, Star Fox.
Yes, there is.
What?
Yeah.
Is it as good as the original?
Not much has been
And
announced
they're
beyond the
saying
fact
it's a
new Star
reboot,
Fox game.
so...
Oh, don't do, brah. It's gonna be just as good as the GameCube version. Ooh.
Steer fax temperature.
But shall the slight extra note on this? Like, shall we also look at the fact that length of the game, but if it's crap, like
Okay, well,
From
what I
my
wanted
point of
to say about length and quality of the game, length and girth of a game, is that
Yep.
the longer the game is, the better the quality has to be. Because if you play through it, if you've got 12 hours of content to get through, the game needs to be good enough for you to not want to give up around 6 hours in.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's going to be
Yeah.
worth your effort.
So, yeah, and it has to be good the whole time. There can't be any downtime in there. Because you can get
A little bit of downtime.
You can get 8 hours in and then play the most boring 2 hours ever, and it doesn't matter what the next hours are, you might stop at the end of that 2 hours.
Yeah.
and this was actually where I was going to come into RPGs, specifically JRPGs. These suffer from the problem of artificially lengthened games by requirement of grinding. Like, I really enjoy JRPGs.
I'm not familiar with JRPGs.
Japanese roleplay games. Final
Okay,
Fantasy
cool.
1, 2, 3.
No, that's all right. I didn't realize that was actually a thing. Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
JRPG.
The issue with it is, like, I love JRPGs. I love that style of game, the old turn-based combat and everything. I think I've only actually finished about 20% of the JRPGs I've played.
Yeah, that's way too long. I can't play them. Like, in terms of Final Fantasy, the original... I can't remember which one I played more. I think it was, like, 8. I don't know. Either way, like, I can't finish them. I get bored. It's so boring.
Can I just say that Final Fantasy VIII is not the original?
No, I mean, the one I played. That's what I mean.
Oh, the original one. Okay, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
the original
I
one
was,
I
I was
played,
like,
yeah. That's what I mean,
come on,
yeah.
it's
No,
Final
obviously
Fantasy
it's
VIII. It's most likely.
It's the 8th original one.
It's most likely the 8th one. By skills of deduction by myself, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, but, I can't get through in that crap.
And yeah, but then you
Well,
sort of look at
that's
it.
one of the things that I was actually looking forward to. We talked about it when we were looking at the GamerCon, whatever it was, E3.
The 7 reboot.
Yeah, the 7 reboot, but also the 7 remodel and all that. That's going to be... Because the JRPG is a great idea to talk about because you've got this really ridiculously long game, and it is a journey, and the people that actually played it and stuck with it back in those days still remember Final Fantasy VII now, and we still think of it as some of the best gameplay we've ever had. Just like the storyline, the battles, and how hard it was. Like, you had to earn your finish. It wasn't one of those where you just play through and you grind and then all of a sudden you win. You had to actually do everything right while you're fighting, get the right crit, all these things. And then it was actually almost cathartic when you finished because you managed to complete this epic quest. And not many of the games that I've played in a long time have ever had that sort of effect on me. So I sort of get into them, and as you said, 5 hours in, 6 hours in, I'll just stop playing because I'm like, I don't think investing more hours into this game is worth my time. I can go back to League or Captain Comic or one of those sort of games that I love. And yeah, it's one of those things where in a JRPG, we've got the chance to pass that experience that we had of a quality product of Final Fantasy VII onto younger people like Bo, who this time might actually sit there and play it and just fucking fall in love with the franchise.
Hope not.
Bo? Thoughts?
Nah.
Like you could play
I'm not really good. I'm not really good when it comes to turn-based stuff. Too much strategy. I have to be smart for that.
Yeah,
I don't like to think. I like to push buttons and make them do stuff.
Yeah,
Yep, I agree with that.
there are two key ways developers used to increase game time artificially. And I'll acquaint it to the first and second Castlevania games, I think is the easiest way to explain this. The first Castlevania game had about less than an hour of content. And the second one had about an hour and a bit. But you could spend days playing both games before you actually beat them. And the reason is different between the two of them. In the first Castlevania, it was difficulty. It was a really fucking hard game. And so you get stuck in parts for ages, however long it took you to get through that certain part. You're like, oh damn, I can't get through these soldiers in the goddamn hallways and they're fucking throwing axes and they're goddamn Medusa heads. And you'd be stuck at it for just forever and you wouldn't get through it. And then maybe one day, oh my god, a miracle happened, I got through it. Oh, now the boss is even more bullshit. Now I'm stuck on the boss for the next 20 days. And that was one that was used a lot because all those old games, you know, how much are they going to fit in these little fucking cartridges? And the quality of the games back then, they were just naturally really hard because, you know, there's not as much flexibility like we have in our characters moving and however they were all chunky. Like Castlevania, gameplay-wise, was actually quite stupid because you would walk in one direction, you were stuck to stairs when you walked up them, and it was really awkward, and you had this same attack every time, and it was really clunky game. And that's one of the reasons why it was so goddamn hard. And then in the second one, it was very different. That was grinding. It was a much easier game, but it was packed to the brim with grinding. You need X amount of hearts to get onto the next area. Collect all these hearts, kill all the monsters, get stuck in the zombie mode, wait for day to come, collect all your hearts, take them to a dude, buy the thing, find the next part of the game. And then...
Yeah, personally, I liked Kingdom Hearts as well.
Kingdom Hearts?
I don't know what we're talking about.
I think Kingdom Hearts is the one with Mickey Mouse, correct?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is the good one.
Yes.
But shall we move on? Because otherwise we're going to take forever on every topic, so...
Just quickly...
It's all the same
just on
topic,
the length
Tribal.
versus not cheat game, because I'm not going to derail this podcast. I'm going to stay on track. I want to talk about length versus not cheat. So World of Warcraft.
Yo.
Okay, epic MOBA, everyone
You're
knows
talking
it.
to me. Yeah, you're talking to me. I know what you're talking. Yeah, go.
Are you talking to me? Is that what you're saying? There's nobody... Actually,
You're extending this podcast further? Yes.
Yes, but I am talking to you. So World of Warcraft, you look at this game, lovely big game. Would it have been as successful and as addictive if you could level up from 0 to, what was it when you originally started, 40? 30?
60.
60 wasn't the first one, that was one of the updates,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
60. No, it was 60, then 70, then 80, 85, 90, 100.
Okay, so you're obviously well versed in World of Warcraft. We'll go with 60. I'll take your word for it because you are the infamous Lego man and everything is awesome.
Yep.
So, if you could get from 0 to 60 in one day, do you think World of Warcraft would have been as addictive and as good, as rewarding?
Nah. Be shit. I'd throw that game in the bin.
Pretty much, wouldn't it? Like, the amount of abilities and stuff you get in a day, you'd never learn how to use it.
No, but that's even like the length makes it not just because the grinding is good. The grinding is kind of annoying, but like in terms of the quests, you know, some of the quests were good. I know obviously Victor hates the quests. Yeah, but like the quests are the original quests, the ones that Victor didn't get to experience back in the day. They were like,
I remember them. Yeah,
you do all this stuff. You know, you kill all the stuff. You know, basic MMO stuff. Kill all the stuff. Get all the loot. But then once you've done all that stuff, then they'll be like, go across the world to go do, you know, all this cool stuff. But then once you get to the spot, there's no cool stuff to do. you get to the spot, you talk to the man, and he's like, "Thanks,
Kill more stuff.
I needed that."
Oh, I hate
And then
that.
that's it, done.
Thank God I got that bloody Griffin.
And you need
light
to remember
bar.
that you didn't get a mount until level 40 back in those days, and it was expensive as hell. Ugh.
The thing about MMOs.
I actually watched
Original
a lot of the
WoW, I
first
tell you.
couple months of WoW on Magnolia fans' computer.
Everyone likes to think, oh, vanilla WoW, the best WoW, the greatest WoW, and definitely the only WoW you should be listening to. But to be honest, the original WoW was in fact a pile of garbage. I remember it. So come at me, internet. Tell me that it's better. But then show me videos of that game, because it is actually pathetic what it was. If it had to stand up against SWTOR or ESO or even, Guild Wars 2, which kind of flopped right now, but if it had to compete with any of those games, if they all came out at the same time, no one would play WoW.
SWTOR would win,
honestly.
baby. SWTOR would win.
SWTOR would win.
Because
ESO
SWTOR's the leveling period of SWTOR is very enjoyable. Which
I've
is
never been more angry than when the Warhammer Online folded.
well, what I'll say about MMOs is the leveling part and the level capped part of your gameplay experience are very different. Like a whole nother game kind of starts once you hit cap.
Yeah, to
Because
be honest, if what they did in going back to what Mod said, if they did just give you instant max levels, so they didn't have a leveling system or
Which
something
I think
like that.
there is an option for in Guild Wars.
Is there? That's weird.
You can actually click to start at top level, and you just click all your characteristics. I think it's for people that have finished it before.
Yeah, so if they did that, if you didn't have to do anything, I think the game would still be really good, because basically, at least personally, what I play MMOs for is the end game. They can put whatever they want in between, but for me, that's filler. Once I get to the end game, that's when I start, playing the game, hitting up the raids and doing all the dungeons and stuff in the instances. That's where I like to go. So.
And when you get there, after spending X amount of days leveling, or X amount of hours if you've done it like 20 goddamn times.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Let's go back to vanilla WoW. X amount of months.
Yeah.
I think it was minimum 2.
Yeah, semantics.
So, the more time you commit to leveling, the more rewarding getting to the end game kind of becomes. I don't know, you'll
the
play...
value of effort put in.
You'll play through it all, and you'll grind for ages and ages and ages, and you'll get to the end game, and depending upon how great the end game is, oh my god, these raids are so cool, I'm hanging out with all these top-level players, all the noobs are running around looking at me in my level 60 pants, rocking all this cool armor and whatnot, yeah, check me out, and you might go into a really low-level PvP area and just stomp on level 20s because you think you're so awesome. It's very rewarding once you get there and you're yeah, the first time I got my SWTOR character to max level, I was like, I did it. I did it, guys. Woo!
Finally the best.
Yeah. And then every time an expansion comes... And then you walk up to someone who's actually been max level for ages and got full decked out in gear, and he challenges you to a duel and 2 hits you, and you're like, oh my god, there's so much more I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the difference for SWTOR is the leveling part of it was better than the end game when SWTOR came out. So
that's why SWTOR flopped, because the end game was pathetic.
Yeah.
I played it when it came out. It was horrific. There was one operation. Don't even get me started.
Because you play SWTOR and you play through all your story missions, and it's so awesome. And then you do side quests, and even the side quests are really interesting and awesome because it's all full dialogue and conversations and cutscenes and everything. And you get to the end of it, and you're like, wow, that was so awesome. I can't wait to see what the end game has for me. I've just hit level 50. All right, what do we got here? Couple of flashpoints.
In operation?
We've sort of discussed this
seems like I
before
got
as
a
well
raid.
with SWTOR, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Skip on to next.
yeah, the only thing I'd say about MMOs is what keeps a lot of people playing is the community they build up. They have friends that play it as well, and it's the same thing what gets
That's
people playing
why
MMOs.
everyone keeps going back to WoW, I'm pretty sure. Because everyone's been playing it...
Because if you played WoW you have friends on WoW, and,
Yeah.
you can
And
just
the
always
value
go
comes
back.
from the social interaction and sort of what you've built up more so than the game sometimes.
Well, that's how Bo used to play MMOs, he reckons. He used to just sit in it, and probably still does it now with me. He just sits in a Skype call with someone and just, like, half minds does all the mindless grindy quests.
Yeah, unless it's like a raid, in which case.
Oh, you gotta be, okay guys, we gotta do this, and we gotta do this, okay, tanks, keep the aggro here, DPSs, just AoE the shit over there or whatever, and healers, you just do your thing.
Alright, let's move it on though.
Yeah.
Next point, I believe, is mod to derail the podcast.
Yeah, that's done. Keep going.
Okay.
You
Go
got
ahead.
rating systems. So
This relates specifically to like websites who have professional writers and reviewers and whatever, or the old magazines that used to come out about video games, Game Informer or whoever you read. If you read those things, I don't know why some people still read those things. Websites on the internet like GameSpot
Video
as well.
games, they need to do something while they fly or drive.
Yeah, so
Buy a DS.
So, a lot of them have their own kind of arbitrary rating systems that they go by. Some of them go by X out of 100 or X out of 10. They might have stars or happy faces or whatever the hell they
a
do.
lot
of
have
eight.
actually pulled out of having any form of rating system because of the backlash they've had from some of them.
Yeah. I mean,
Sonic Boom.
they're- I mean, rating systems are... I mean, they kind of don't mean much, don't they? Like what does 50 out of 100 mean? What does 70 out of 100 mean?
That's around about half, like
Yeah?
50%.
The problem with rating systems is
I got you back, guys. Hang on, calculator.
yeah. Anyway, the problem with rating systems is basically it's rated
Yeah.
by the person who played it, and that person's interests will directly affect the rating. Like, if you have someone who is an MMO player, and you give them a JRPG to play, they're going to come out and say, this is a piece of pile of crap, because they don't enjoy that style of game.
Yeah. Or like if you've got someone that works for IGN also working for the Liberal Party, and Labor brings out a video game about one of their politicians, they're going to vote it down because it's in their vested interest to smash the other party.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'll also say that
I don't
hang
even
on,
know what
someone-
happened.
He's trying hard.
he's totally fucking taken my mind off my point now. I've forgotten.
Wifey.
I'm
Why
confused
is he-
at what I was just talking about.
Alright, well,
I
I'll
had
keep
something
going
to
then.
say. Yeah,
What I
so
was gonna say is that rating systems are all kind of like it's based off something. Like, what does 100 mean? Like, if something's 100 out of 100, does that mean it's the greatest game of all time? What's that compared to? Like if I like everything's sort of relative to what the greatest game of all time is, and sometimes to a lot of people the greatest game of all time is a game that came out 20 years ago.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, 20 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
That's a good game.
a really good way to look at it is, I really highly rate XCOM. I think if any of you three played XCOM, you'd come back to me and probably say, that was absolute pile of shite. I am bored out of my mind.
I don't know if
I'm
I'd
pretty
say
sure I
that.
did play XCOM. Well, in part, you made a character that looked like me, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, I've kind of played it.
I've got your soldier saved somewhere, yeah.
There we go.
He's not
Yeah,
dead.
I've played it. I've been a part of the game.
I've been a part of the community.
Come at me, reviewers.
One,
Anything about the game, I got it covered.
I actually want to question you because I heard about this idea that someone had or some people had for a rating system. This is a rating system, but the rating system is how much the reviewer would pay for that game. And that was their idea of a rating system. So it's like, okay,
I like that.
I've played this game, and I think I'd value it at about this price.
See, I think that's an alright system,
I
but
think that's a great system.
I still think they should have multiple people doing it.
Yeah,
I
like,
like
it can't be
that-
the opinion of one person, because then...
Yeah, like if you watch like IGN, like YouTube videos, and they're just like obviously paid for, but other than that, it's just like one guy, and they're like, they're like all the reviewers for every single, like if you watch a Zelda IGN video, the guy who reviews all the Zeldas is just one guy. They don't have like any different guys. Just like
See, there's a
this
reason
guy
for
likes
that,
Zelda.
though. There's a reason for that. The person who reviews Zelda games is the person who likes playing Zelda games. Because, as I said before, like, if you got a person who loved playing a first-person shooter and said, go review the Zelda game, it's not a valid review in some positions. Like, the people who are going to be looking for, okay, what's someone's review on this game, they're going to be wanting someone who enjoys that style of game. Otherwise, you know, you're just going to tear it apart.
The target audience, because, you know, you could grab any adult off the street that doesn't play video games and get them to review it, and they'll give you a 0 because they think video games are useless. So yeah, it's definitely got to be relevant.
Yeah, but there's also like the fact that like if you look at me or whatever, I love the Lego games, as everyone knows. But I love the Lego
I would love
games.
to look
And
at
if
you,
a
but all I
game
see is Lego.
if a Lego game came out and everyone else thought it was complete arse, I'd go, I really like that game. It was cute and adorable and had Lego pieces, and I like Lego. So like it wouldn't make a difference. If the game is complete arse, I'll look at it and go, I mean, unless it's Harry Potter, because that's just bullshit. Like, I'll look at it and go, I like that game.
With Harry Potter.
Oh, Bo hates Harry Potter.
I hate Harry Potter.
I think
Girlfriend
the
loves
only
Harry
the
Potter.
only real
Hate it.
problem I see with the money rating system is similar to what Tribal said about the person who is reviewing the game is someone who likes the game, because you wouldn't have someone who despises Zelda review a Zelda game and then rate it at 20 cents. I would pay 20 cents for this game because Zelda is complete arse.
Personally,
I
I'd pay
think-
0 cents for any game.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'd pay 0 cents because you just gave me the game and I just played the full way through, so now I don't need to buy it.
on the other end, you can also get someone who's really biased about their Zelda games, because you got someone who really likes Zelda playing Zelda. They might show up to the new Majora's Mask remake and be like, oh my god, it's like the best thing ever. I would pay $200 for this game, bruh, and I suggest everyone put it on their shelves for $200.
Minimum.
I mean, you got to have some level of respect for what the game is worth as well. I mean, you know, look at things like, what was it, the Division 1886 or whatever it was that came out on PlayStation.
Yeah.
There was like a 4-hour game or something, like a 2-hour game, but had great graphics and cost $80. You know, you still got to look
that
at...
was a cinematic one.
Yeah, you still got to look at how much did that cost to make, and then you've also got to put that against it. Like, you know, yeah, it was a short game. People apparently enjoyed it. It's really hard to judge. Like,
I pretty much played that game on YouTube.
yeah, I mean, can you? Could they afford to only have it for $40? Like, would they have lost money?
Some people have like their own sort of systems to decide whether or not a game was worth their time. One of my friends, Ben, he used to say, a game will be worth his time if he gets an hour for every dollar he spends. That's his way of thinking.
RPGs then.
Now he plays. He one of his favorite games is called Civilization. He's a big player of Civ 5, and I reckon he's got a good 1,000 hours booked into that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the strategy games will always give you a lot of time for your money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a big difference between time for your money and enjoyment for your money. I mean, a lot of strategy games, they're very, very grindy. And if you don't enjoy the strategy level of that grind, you're just wasting your time.
And then
yeah,
you
get distracted, but
But
it's
I
not
think
worth it.
I think the rule still applies there of $1 for an hour. I'm not saying that's my system. Like $1 for an hour, because if the game is arse out the gate, you're not going to get your money's worth anyway, because you'll stop playing it. It's not like you're going to play the whole time. It's not like you're going to play the full 80 hours or whatever you want.
I'm going to completely disagree with that $1 for an hour system.
That's not my system. That's a system my friend
I
has
know,
based
but
on the games he plays.
Just on the basis that's just got to do with how long you played for. Whereas, you know, like a high-class courtesan, you might pay like $4,000 a night, and a not-so-high-class, you might pay $150 for services. So, like, it's quality. That's what I'm saying. Like, you might have played 15 hours into a horrible game and you only paid $8, so by that definition, that was worth it. But if you paid $15 for 1 hour, and it was the most amazing experience you ever had on a computer screen, that would have to be worth it tenfold.
Then, as far as the rule goes, that was a successful purchase.
No, as far as the rule goes, it wasn't worth it because you only got 1 hour's play, but you paid $15.
Oh, sorry, never mind.
See,
No, that's all right. But yeah, like that's a good point though. Like, it's the amount of time you get for it. Like, you have to receive enjoyment for a certain amount of time, otherwise it does feel short.
I mean, you look at things like the Stanley Parable and even like Gone Home and that, like, they were short games. I mean, Stanley wasn't that short game because it was replayable. But, okay. But, yeah, it's just that even though it's a short game, it was so unique and it was so unusual and people got such a message, particularly out of Gone Home. I know a lot of people here hate Gone Home. I haven't played it either. But so many people got a great story and great message out of that game. And as far as they were concerned, it was worth their $20, $30, whatever they spent on it. And it was barely a game.
Yeah. I mean, I'll save my opinions on Gone Home for another episode, but
But yeah, it's
but
just that. Like,
it is very true.
I'm reading the storyline for Stanley Parable right now. I've never heard of it. That sounds amazing. That sounds so cool.
you have to pick up the demo. Even the demo's hilarious, but we'll keep moving and let you do
Can I
that
just
later.
quickly read it
No.
for people that haven't heard of it? Okay,
A lot of
Stanley
people have heard of the Stanley Parable.
Parable. Stanley Parable. Look it up. It looks interesting. Download it. Play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the next point.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about. So this kind of strings on from how would you price a game? Do we think games are overpriced? Commonly,
Yes, move on.
typically AAA games in Australia go for anywhere
110,
between $80 and $110. Those
What's
are
a AAA game?
those are AAA games. That's like your Assassin's Creeds, your Call of Duties, and
AAA
whatever.
means developed by a big publisher mod.
Yeah,
Okay, and how much are they?
80 to 110 or so.
yeah. In Australia,
Holy shit!
in America they're about 60.
Yeah.
50.
Our dollar is rather weak at the moment too, which doesn't help.
Yeah,
But even when our dollar was strong, it was still those sort of pricings. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
no,
it
it's
just the
always
same because wedding dresses coming over from America, they do a 300% markup on the wedding dress?
I don't
It's
know
just
about
what
dresses
happens in
personally,
Australia
but,
with-
you know.
I mean, I'm probably a total expert in wedding dresses, but anyway, do we think games are overpriced then for $110?
Nintendo games.
Everyone's going to
Nintendo
say
games
yes.
are-
I put it simply: if there's a game I have enough interest in to buy full price, I will buy it.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
that has happened about 5 times in my life,
Yeah.
What if the game's horrible? Should you get a refund?
and 4 of those times have been Pokemon.
Yeah. I think the only
So-
issue I have with the pricing at the moment is AAA isn't really doing anything right now. Like AAA isn't blowing my fucking mind. I think like the indie games I'm looking at and some of them I'm buying
Hang
or
on, I'll just click record. Okay, go.
the
I don't know what just happened.
indie games that I find on Steam and have played, or the people who have developed their own games and found their own fortune, I've found much more interest in than the new Call of Duty that hits the shelf, bro, or whatever the hell AAA game. Like AAA just isn't performing for me at the moment, and so that's why I don't see a lot of value in AAA games.
But that said, for me right now, like my wife has pre-ordered not only the Fallout 4, she's pre-ordered the Fallout 4 at like $200 frickin' whatever it is for that damn Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go get that.
And
Shit.
I will be buying XCOM 2 the second it comes out.
Yeah.
This is the first time in ages I've been excited about a game enough to buy it like that. But there are some games that are worth it, and for each person, it'll be a different game. Like,
I reckon
you
this
think the
year's
Star
looking
Wars.
I mean, I bought
Battlefront,
Smash Brothers the other day.
Like,
Great game.
but are you guys going to buy Star Wars Battlefront on release?
I'm buying it for
No.
Vic.
Because I bought him a whole bunch of shit, yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to
I'm
say,
buying
but if he wasn't buying it for me, I'd get it, but probably not straight away.
Yeah, no, I was gonna wait for it, but I owe you a game, so I might as well buy it for both of us, and then we can play it together.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of AAA games and stuff, and all the pricing and stuff now for like store-bought games, like this can go into the next.
We'll go into the
topic
next
as well,
one,
like,
store-bought and
yeah,
Steam.
So I'll just leeway into that in terms of prices. So like the store-bought games, personally, I think mostly are overpriced. Nintendo games are really expensive, but I always buy Nintendo because if you buy a Nintendo game, you know you're getting a good game.
Yeah,
That's the way I
Nintendo
see
never
it.
brings down their price, but they always work to be the quality.
They always have a good quality game though. They don't just stuff up. They don't go, let's put out new Super Mario Brothers or whatever. The new one, the new one out and like half-ass it like every other game developer does now. They just they will work on their game and it'll be finished when it's damn well finished. They don't even give release dates. I don't know when any of the games are coming out.
Yeah, they just announce it when they're releasing it and like, oh yeah, it's coming out next week. Go
Can
away.
I just this is a bit off topic, but America's having American gamers who love like Smash and Amiibos and stuff are having a massive crisis because Nintendo have not stocked Amiibos to satisfy everyone.
Oh,
I went
yeah,
to EB the other day. I live in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. I went to EB the other day, and a fucking wall covered with Amiibos. They are
Now, what
fucking
are you trying to
everywhere down here. There's so many.
No, it's the rare amiibos. That's their problem.
Oh
Like
fuck!
there's thousands of the ones that everyone can get, like the Mario and stuff like that. But they release like a new amiibo, and then each store gets like 5.
Yeah, well, I found Little Mac. He's pretty rare.
Mm.
There was
I'm
there's
not saying-
stacks of them.
That's because Australia doesn't give a crap. So the ones we are getting released.
And one of my friends, he's got people in America he talks to, and they are asking him to buy Amiibos for him. To buy Amiibos for them. So he goes to the shops, buy them Amiibos, and sends it to him, and they drop some money in his PayPal account or some shit.
On the
I don't know.
topic of Amiibos, if you guys get a chance, look up the Yoshi Woolly Worlds Amiibo. It is really well made.
Yeah,
made
the
out of
quality
wool.
got a lot better when they started the
They are
Splatoon
good.
ones.
Yeah, no, they are getting really.
Because they were
good.
only doing the
That's
Smash
what I'm
Brothers
saying.
ones at first.
Nintendo, if you want to get something that's good, you buy a Nintendo. If you want to go and get something that might be half-assed, go to any other console. It doesn't really matter what. Just choose something that isn't Nintendo, and then.
Because the thing about Nintendo is they are a publisher and they make games, which means that Nintendo are not plagued by what some other developers are, which is publishers who are just out to get money. The heads of Sony are not gamers. The heads of Sony are dudes who make money. The heads of Ubisoft are not gamers. The heads of Ubisoft are people who want to make money. They don't care about gaming as an art. They care about gaming as thickness in their back pockets. They want to make money. So they will push developers who love games and want to make great games, but they will push them and they will tell them what to put in these games and they'll tell them what not to put in these games and restrict the absolute shite out of them and try and get the product out as soon as they can so they can make their money, which is why these dudes are having released some of the biggest garbage ever and it's AAA, it's supposed to be good, pay me $80, please. And then Nintendo come out with really good products because in Nintendo we love games, we publish our own games, we're going to make a great fucking game because we want to make a great fucking game because we want to play our own games and we want to enjoy what we've come up with.
Yeah, so if I can segue in there, basically what I want to say is something to do with money and stuff. When I buy games, sometimes I don't even look at in terms of choosing consoles and stuff. I bought Lego Jurassic World on my DS the other day,
Because
and
you
the
can
reason
get
was
purple dinosaurs.
well that too, yes, but I'm gonna get it on a different console as well.
Oh.
So the reason is because I read it up. It's obviously different because they have really small chips. They can't do the memory and stuff. So I bought it on 3DS, and I'm gonna buy it on Wii U as well at some point. Not right now, but at some point, because I read up on the forums and stuff, and they're all like, best handheld Lego game ever. So I was like, well, I want to support that. That's the way I also.
No, I'm with that. When you guys were talking about rating, and you spoke about reviewers actually giving it, how much would you pay for this game? I actually think that is a fantastic system because have you ever seen the show My Kitchen Rules?
I avoid television at all costs.
Very briefly.
Briefly, okay. Well, you should bloody watch it. It's great. What they actually do is they'll actually set up a kiosk, like in Melbourne, Sydney, one of those towns, and they'll set up a restaurant and they'll cook 2 meals. Each group cooks like 2 meals or whatever. People come, they look at the menu, and they go, okay, well, I want that meal there. So they order one of the meals, and when they eat it, they actually pay what they feel it was worth. Okay, so, I feel like if everyone was kind of honest, because, the truth is, if you put that system in, people will go there and go, hey, it was shit, I'm paying you $0. But if it was actually an honest world, and we actually got by on that sort of thing, it would be a great system, because that means all the really amazing game developers or chefs would fucking prosper, because people would play a game and go, fuck, this is a fantastic game. This guy that developed this game deserves to have my money. Here's $200, keep going, buddy.
Yeah, Mod, that does exist to some degree. Ever heard of Humble Bundle?
I have. I've heard of Hobo Bindle.
No. Humble Bundle it's a charity, but game developers and developers in general basically throw their games up there and say, hey, spend $10, you get this big chunk of games. Spend a bit more, you get this big chunk of games plus that chunk of games. And you could throw in $300 if you think the games are worth it. Or you could throw in $15. And,
okay, yeah, I'm reading it now.
And basically, you even determine how much you give to Humble Bundle's charities versus how much you give to the developers. It really is a pay what you feel like. Honestly, I'll pay, if I see a pack like that, I'll pay the minimum to get the full pack, and then I'll just distribute it evenly. It means the developers don't get a lot, but it's normally older games or older systems for them anyway.
Yeah.
But, if there's something that, that's how I got XCOM. I spent $30-something getting a whole heap of games, including XCOM. Within 10 days, I spent $50 on the expansion.
Yeah.
So that was my way of saying, this is how much the game's worth to me. Because I'm like, I realistically only spent $5 on the original game, but this game's that good, I will buy the expansion the first second I can find it. So, yeah. But there are ways to say, if you really respect a company or something, you can pay more to say, hey, these are great things, it's a great thing you're doing, sort of thing. So,
I like this. I like this system because I think it's something that exists in the real world. The real world. Sorry, I feel dirty for saying that. But if someone is going out and he's writing a review about, say, a piece of furniture, I'd say this piece of furniture is completely overpriced. This one would seem more adequate. Or if you go to some kind of buy and sell kind of thing, people will haggle based on how much something is worth. And it'd be I work as a car salesman. I have worked as a car salesman, and people come up and they say to me, "Oh, this car isn't worth that amount of money." And I'd say, "Well, you're probably right. How much do you think it's worth?" And they'll tell me, and I'll say, I think I'd be a bit generous if I gave it to you for that much. I'd probably give it to you for this much, though." And they'd say, "You know what? Maybe that's a bit more fair. I'll take it."
You've
Which
got
is
to
not.
haggle with me.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
That's what it's haggling. I'm completely with you on that. Yeah. Because you have two varying viewpoints that benefit other people. So you believe it's worth this much, they believe it's worth this much. I'm with you.
Yeah. And I have to work out based on how much I've bought the car from in the first place and how much work I've put into the car to make it sell worthy. Is it going to be worth, how much am I actually going to get out of this based on labour? And say I've spent $4,000 on a car, I want to sell it for $10,000. but the amount of labour I put in is worth about $2,000. You know, I'm not going to put it up for $6,000 because I've made nothing, technically. I might put it up for $7,000, or I might put it up for $10,000 initially and go as low as 7 or 8.
Okay, you're a car salesman. What's ONO mean?
Or nearest offer.
What's it actually mean?
Or nearest offer.
Okay, so if I said
So if
10,000
I've got
ONO, what would you offer me?
I would offer you $6,000, and then you'd say that's completely ridiculous. How about $9,000? And I would say, how about I meet you a little bit more in the middle and go to $8,000?
And then you'd say,
Go
"F you,
fuck
I'm
yourself,"
leaving."
and
Mate.
walk off.
Basic nearest offer is just a way to
Tribal knows what's up.
or nearest offer ONO is just a way to say I'm willing to go lower on this. Haggle with me. Like ONO is just asking people to haggle with you. We'll put it on some of
that's what I
our
thought.
we'll put that on some of our cars just to get their attention. That's all it really is, because they're like, "Ooh, I can get it for this for a bit cheaper, actually," and then that sparks like
It
the
gets
salesman
them
in their brain or whatever, like or the bargain hunter in their brain,
And then
so-
they get ripped off.
and then they get completely ripped off because I'm a filthy car
Then they get
salesman.
jerked off.
Yeah, I mean, like people have come in and I've sold them. Like I've got a car that says $4,000 on the window, but I've advertised it for $3,000 on Gumtree or something, and I have it. Well, sorry, it's about five. It's got $4,500 on the window. It's about $3,000 on Gumtree, and I've bought the car for about $500. And they'll come in and say, "Oh, $4,500. Would you do $3,000?" And I'd say, "Oh, that's a bit cheap, mate. Would you do?" I'd say, honestly, I'd probably only go down as far as 4. And they'd say, "All right, I'll do it for 4 then." When I was actually willing to do it for $3,000
Because he's a stingy bastard.
because I'm a filthy car salesman.
No, that just means
Anyway.
you're thrift.
So,
And that is why you don't buy cars, children.
Never buy a car.
as apparently we're running out of time.
Well, we're not really, but apparently some people don't like the fucking hour and a half anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, is it an hour and a half?
Yeah, I sent in multiple complaints about the last episode. It went too long.
Mod, but you're the one who manages the someone who cares Twitter account.
Well, I had to get some activity on it, so I thought I'd just send myself a few tweets.
It's too long. I don't like it. Okay, so
I didn't
And I
know it was
also-
an hour and a half.
Okay, so-
That's fine. Continue.
so obviously a car sales yard and a retail store are two very completely different things, as well as Steam. So how do we feel?
Dodgy.
How do we feel about?
Not dodgy.
How do we feel about Steam prices and Steam sales, and your nearest EB games?
I mean,
Well, I
honestly,
compared the prices, and they're actually pretty close if you put in like actual, Australian dollar. Like they like for us, we look at it and it's like, oh my god, $50 for the new Assassin's Creed. But when really it's actually like $70 for us, or a little bit more, and it's like, $80. And I really like the cases, so I'll go get the case because then I can have the case and look at it, and be like a little child going home and read the little book and be
Yeah,
like, oh my god. I'm
Me
gonna play this
and
game.
Bo have that kind of collector spark in our brain where we prefer physical to digital, just because we can hold it and we can look at it and we
I
can
will
put it
never in my
and we
entire
can put it
life
with
buy
like a
physical.
set of them. So like I think Bo wanted to have all the Call of Duties all together at one point when he was really into COD.
Duty.
I did.
I mean,
did have
on,
all of
on the
them.
opposite end of the
Still
scale,
have all of them.
I'm a really cheap gamer. Like, unless there's a big thing, like I said, about 5 games I've had in my entire history where I've actually bought it on spot, I wait until things are down into the bargain bin before I'll even touch most things. So, looking between Steam and EB, bargain bin stuff is about the same price, to be perfectly honest. Because if you go to an EB and they're doing like clearance sale, buy 2 get 1 free. By the time you got 3 games, you go and look at them on Steam, it's going to probably cost you about the same, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless it's like a winter or summer sale where they go crazy.
yeah, like the big sales, yeah, but then those are the sort of ones where like I'll get on and be like, oh, there's 2 games on sale at the moment, and I'll get on about 4 days later and be like, oh, the sale's over. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit on the computer all day going, what's on sale next hour? I don't give a shite.
I think when I was comparing prices, I saw that EB was cheaper, which is weird. Like the store-bought game was cheaper than Steam, which I thought was weird. Because I always
There
thought...
is actually a game. I'm going to bring this up right now, just in the middle, because there's a game, Black Ops 2 right now, at EB is $26, I think, and it is $60 US on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's even more expensive in Australia to buy it off Steam.
No. Yeah.
$6 US, yeah, so it's like
to buy it off Steam.
$75 us.
Yeah, like heaps. I was just like, because I was going to buy it, and then I'm like, no. Then I spat in their face.
Yeah, you spat in Gabe Newell's
Is that what you
chins.
got charged for?
He didn't pay that
No,
price.
no. That was peeing on a child.
Yeah. No, that happens to us all.
Oh yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I just don't like
for
children.
those podcasters that aren't watching the YouTube clip, you just missed my beautiful wife coming dropping off tea and biscuits.
No one saw her. We saw you stand up and then sit back
she
down.
was naked off camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't want to come on camera. She's not wearing clothes, so.
Okay, show
just
me.
Get out of the bath. Made me a tea.
Show me. I can't see.
Yeah, hang on a sec.
Oh, that's a sexy door.
Whoa.
I don't really know what it is.
Man. Wow, you audio listeners are missing out.
Yes.
You audio listeners are... Is that a bottle of Coke?
Baby, dance.
Oh, that's nice.
You dance for the man.
Mod, do you have
I'm
just
waiting
like
for someone
a...
to walk in and smack him over the back of the head.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Audio listeners, you're missing out. I think the big advantage of Steam, compared to retail stores at the moment, isn't prices, isn't so much sales. The sales are great, but retail stores do their clearance sales and bargain bins and pre-owned games and everything like that, so you can get games pretty freaking cheap at retail stores as well.
But with the case.
And with the case, Steam, for one thing, it's... I don't want to call it more convenient because you still have to download the game, which uses up your internet, and for some people who have slow internet like myself, it pretty much locks me out of the computer if I leave something to download on Steam because I just can't use the internet. Barely even play SWTOR. So I'm very hesitant to call Steam more convenient than going to the store because it's much quicker to install something if you've got the disc.
Not for me. I don't even have a credit card that works on the internet, so for me,
I use
Steam
PayPal.
is considerably more annoying because obviously my internet. My internet's worse than probably anyone on this freaking planet. I get like 50 kb per second at peak. So, like for me, downloading games off Steam is like, some other people will be locked out of their computer for like half an hour. I'll be locked out of my computer for like. It seems that way, but no, it's actually copper wire.
Okay, cool.
We have actually a really good internet provider, and it's actually really good internet and stuff. We're just on copper wire because we live in a bush, so... Yeah.
I mean...
So for me, it takes me like a week to download any game. Like, I still haven't... I've had Batman Arkham Origins for like 2 months, maybe 3, I don't know. And I still haven't downloaded it halfway through.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the opposite end of the scale there. I get about 2 megabytes a second down. So, like, for me, sometimes it's actually almost faster, particularly older games, to actually install it from the net than it is to actually install it from a disc.
Yeah.
So for me, I can say it's more convenient to have a, Steam-based game. But, I'm still of the belief, hey, I like to have a disc, even if I know it will never freaking work until the internet works anyway.
Yeah. Bo can't use discs now either.
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
doesn't have a disc drive. What I was gonna say.
Did you ever install a game using like 24 floppy disks?
My father used to have Windows 3.11 on 32 3.25 floppy disks. It was very fun.
That was the most fun ever. Alright, continue, Vic. I just want to make sure someone else has actually experienced that before.
So, what I was going to say about Steam, and the only advantage in my mind, for me, The only advantage that Steam has over retail stores is the entirety of the indie market. All of it. All the indie games.
That's something that I could honestly agree with.
The other advantage is variety. Not just indie, but old school.
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing about Vampire Masquerade. I can't find that in stores.
Yeah. And you can't find the original Baldur's Gate games in stores.
Mm.
Or like, although Bo found the original Fallouts in EB the other one time.
Yeah, they're still there because you can reprint it.
And also, there's no such thing as a stock on Steam. They're not going to run out. Whereas I might go to EB today and I say, oh yeah, I'm after the latest, Super Smash Brothers. And I'll be like, oh, I might have to check the back for you, mate. And then they spend 10 years looking back there. They probably just went to have a smoke or something. They didn't give a shit about me. They knew nothing was back there.
And they come back and they find the register cleaned out and the window broken.
Yes.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
It's the same fucking window.
On Steam, the people who run Steam don't have to wait for the publishers to send them X amount of copies of the game. They just get the files and they just copy them millions of times to all the buyers.
But I like the journey of looking for the game.
The
only problem is I'll go look for the game and I'll find like 5 other games and I'll be like, oh my god, I had that issue today because I bought. Vic just gave me his Wii U for whatever reason. He gave me his Wii U, and I was going through all the Wii U games and I'm like, oh my god, I want to get Kirby and I want to get Toad's Treasure Tracker thingy and I want to get Woolly World, and I'm just like, oh my god, and I can only pick one. So it ruined my life a little bit, but also now I know that there's a lot of games that I want.
Doesn't make that
but you know that you can die happy. I like it.
The journey of looking for a game is not convenient though, and that's what Steam gives you.
Fun.
Steam gives you, but fun isn't convenience. Steam brings you, here's your search bar, bam, there's the game, bought, downloading, and straight away it's happening.
It also has the advantage of putting it on a wait list and knowing it'll come up, hey, this is on special now.
Yeah. Which I'll say something about the wish list though. It tells me games on my wish list are on sale, and I don't actually have any games on my wish list. It's like, hey, Saints Row's on sale, and I'm like, Saints Row's not on my wish list. Why are you telling me about Saints Row? It's normally Saints Row, to be honest. Once it was XCOM, actually.
Which is weird, because, like, I'm not even friends with you or anything, so it isn't even pulling recommends from anyone.
Yeah. I got a couple friends who have XCOM. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, it just tells you games on your wish list are on sale. Which is ridiculous.
Anyway,
I'll lead it into the next point, which I'm not looking at it, but this is on Steam as well. Early access. Okay. Who else agrees that early access should be free?
No.
Me.
No?
No, I think it should be.
No, look, there's two things.
I'll add Steam Greenlight in there as well.
Okay.
Who thinks...
I don't know what that is.
Steam Greenlight are games put up by community members who are trying to get enough upvotes to sell their game on Steam.
Operation Greenlight. Okay, I'm with you. I think that early access piss should definitely be you pay for it, and I think it should be very much like your what's it called, the backup system, but basically a tiered system. So if you pay, you pay nothing and you get like a demo. You pay $1, you get what they've got. You pay $5, and when it comes out, you get this. So basically, the more you invest in the game, the more you're rewarded when the game becomes an official title.
Okay.
There's no better way to do it. It's a great way to set it up.
Bo, we're in the yes. Bo, you're in the yes camp. We'll talk last.
Okay, sure. Yep. No camp. Go.
Alright. For me, for early access...
I'm in yes camp, I think.
For me, for early access, if I'm going to buy something for early access, I'm not going in to say, hey, I want to play this game now. I'm going in to say, hey, I might check this out. This premise looks really good. I'm going to help you guys with a bit of money now to finish your game. Or, if I'm really interested, I'm going to bug spot it for you. Because
Ooh,
effectively,
that's a valid point, actually.
effectively, all early access is you're paying to be a beta tester, but you actually get the game at the end. Whereas if you're a beta tester, like I was a beta tester for ESO, I didn't get the game when the game came out because I was only a beta tester.
You got free shit though.
Only if I actually signed up and kept playing, which I haven't been able to.
I did. You get free shit.
Yeah, but you get free shit for having
Yeah.
early access as well.
Oh, you get like a mud crab and a mountain or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty minimal. But
I was
if you're
happy.
early access, you get free shit too. Like, I was early access for War for the Overworld. I now have, and I can bring it up exactly what I have from it. I have a specific arcane theme and the early access, early adopter bonus, which is still yet to actually be released. But, you know, early access is not there to let you play a game. Early access is there for people who are interested enough in the game to say, hey, I want to help out with this in some way.
Okay.
So
And
as far as I'm
experience the
concerned,
game.
if you're putting money into it, you're putting money into it saying, I'm helping you guys out.
Alright.
That's my opinion.
Valid
So-
point. I like it.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to go, Bo?
You can go. I'm eating roast.
Okay. Mute your mic. Alright, where I see early...
Over
Okay,
half
so
hour mark.
early access has many negative implications to it at the moment because people are very much cheating the early access system and is becoming a serious problem. And it's not a minority. There is a very large percentage of people who are cheating the system, putting up rubbish games without the intention of ever finishing them, just to cash grab, just to get a nice little cash grab. There are a lot of people out there who are making great early access games, like Ark Survival or whatever else came out of early access. The whole premise of Minecraft...
Stuff.
Minecraft, yeah, but don't starve. Minecraft, in the beginning, was an early access system. We've started making this game. We need money to keep making it. We're offering you what we have now. That was the Minecraft system, and that was a great system because I paid for the game. I got it cheaper than I would have when it got released.
It was
And-
like $50 or something.
And it was, yeah, it's expensive. It's much more expensive now. And I had a game I could play.
Pay for Minecraft?
Minecraft was a very playable game when it was first released as an alpha. It was very playable. You could put hours into that game, just like you can now. And you can arguably put just as many hours into it now as you could when it was released in alpha. My headset cut out. Okay, I'm good again. Now, herein lies the problem. They are very much incomplete games. It's a very easy system to abuse, and you don't know what you're getting before you get the game. And you will never know what you're getting before you get the game until you buy the game, especially if there's not much publicity behind the game, like the AAA games would get. And they're not going to release any early access, but there's a lot of shit coming up in the lead up to it. Reviews come out before the game hits the shelves, and if it's a popular game, you've never bought it, you can jump on YouTube and look up the latest Let's Play to see it. There's not a lot of that out there for early access games. I don't even know if there's a thing where they allow it or whatever, but the system I would like for an early access is a pay what you want. Not a free, because they're putting it on early access. Well, the idea of putting it on early access is so you can get some money now to keep producing the game and not get distracted by other things or actually go and have to work an actual job and pay out of your pocket all the goddamn time. I would do a pay what you want system. So
With a minimum?
with
Problem
like
is,
a
you
fucking
pay what
dollar
you
or
want.
like $1 or something. And we're not crooks. The people playing the games are not crooks. A lot of people seem to assume that we're crooks, and if we can pirate it, we will pirate it. No. People will support something they like, and this is an opinion all the top dogs in the AAA publishing companies think, that we're all crooks and we're all trying to pirate their games and we're absolute scumbags. That's not at all true. People will put money into something they believe is going to work. That's why Kickstarters happen. That's why Kickstarters succeed.
How I bought the Lego game, and I'm going to buy another Lego game because they're sick
Yeah.
as balls.
Yeah, and
I
the
think-
only point I have there is, if you're doing pay what you want, are you doing like, you pay the base amount and then you can pay a bit more later.
No, I'm saying...
Then how can you do pay what you want if you're just going to have the exact same situation if you haven't played the game?
Because you put $2 into it, and it's like, oh, I only lost $2.
I've got a new
Yeah,
system.
but what if you then want to come back and say, well, no, this game's
Or-
actually worth 5?
Alright, Tribal, or
I'm just asking.
you get X amount of... You get an hour to play the game, and then you can pay.
That would I put down.
I like that. Yep.
The problem with that is making sure it deletes off your system.
And
It could just be like a subscription based.
Well, I have heard of a game...
Yeah, well, what it should be is they should send it out to everyone that wants to do the beta version. Or they send out a little coin slot, and every time you want to keep playing, you put 20 cents in. When the box fills up, you send that box of 20-cent coins to the developer.
Yeah. I'll also say they're not complete games either, and they're not
retarded, but you know.
And I will say...
you could, but where's the fun in that?
I will say to back up my point, these are not complete games, and they are not worth full price.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So I would never pay, like... While Ark is a great game, I wouldn't pay $100 for Ark right now. Maybe when it come out and it was worth that, I'd probably pay $100.
Yeah, I
But
really
right
want
now,
That's
I
why
would.
it's $30 now.
That's why it's $30 now, yeah.
So I've got my system, which is kind of like the pay to whatever. Because I also think that they should get some amount of money if it's a good game. But I agree with Vic because I've excuse me, because I've had experiences with early access games where they're just complete garbage. And I'm just like, okay. Now I just don't get into those early access games. I want to play Ark because I really like dinosaurs. And riding dinosaurs sounds pretty boss. Like, someone tell me it doesn't sound boss. That's right, no one can. So, like, with me, I don't like them. I think they're shit. But they're there, and the best system I could come up with is, like, a deposit type system, like, $30 for Ark, right? You deposit that money, right? And then, like you say, I'll pay $30 for Ark if the early access is worth my time. So if I go into it and I'm like, yeah, it's alright, I like it, it's pretty good, I would pay $30 for this. And then if they, obviously it's going to be cheaper.
Now
Steam
Steam
has
has
actually
actually effectively done that for you now.
The
Because they've
refund
got that
system, I
refund
don't count that. You only get to play it for like 2 hours, and if you want to play, like, you've already told us how long you have to play Ark to know that it's going to be like an awesome game and stuff.
Oh, dude, I 2 hours into Ark, I wouldn't have put it down for any reason.
Yeah. See,
So-
for Ark, it sounds awesome though. You got riding dinosaurs and stuff. For some other games, it's like you kind of need to get into the later areas to actually feel what it's about. Like I played this other game early access, 7 Days to Die.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, cool. I got it right. So it's like some zombies or something. And the first hour, I had a lot of fun with it. It was okay. I was okay with the money I paid. And then the second hour, I was kind of like,
Until you discover how fucking unplayable that game was.
yeah, I was like, oh, it's all right. I like the concept. The concept's good, and I'm like, you know what? I'll still keep going at it. I'll try out a multiplayer server. We'll see how that goes. Multiplayer servers were garbage, and I was just like, this game is actually really shit, and I immediately uninstalled it. And that was like maybe 4 hours, because I don't play a game. The problem with me is for this this refund system is I don't play a game for an hour and go it's shit. I play a game for, if it's a story based game, I'll play it to the end and decide at the end if I thought it was shit.
Well, now, see, here's the interesting thing. This is where reviewers actually would come in handy.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to Giant Bombcast and Crate & Crowbar, both gaming podcasts.
Yep.
Both of them, specifically Crate & Crowbar, go into a bunch of the early access games, ones that they've been seen and they've liked. And they'll talk about them and say, hey, this is good, this is bad, this is my problem with it, this is what works. And, like, regardless of whether something's early access or something, I will not buy a game unless I've heard at least one other person talk about it and say, this is what I think of it.
Yeah. Some people do
And-
scout games for themselves, though.
Yeah, because, like, I don't have that money. I'm not
someone
going to
has.
put money down unless I know I'm going to enjoy a game. Full stop.
The way I buy games at the moment is very much I watch Let's Plays a lot on YouTube, and sometimes I'll stumble across a game that looks really cool, and I'll stop watching that Let's Play and buy the game. And I'll never watch the Let's Play. I'll never watch the Let's Play again. I'll just play the game. What I wanted to say is, Tribal, you mentioned the game deleting itself at the end of that sort of trial period. There is actually this one game. It's a bit of a bondage game. It's the type of thing of it where the female finds a dom male and she slaps his bottom, and he has a safe word, and he'll start shouting out the safe word, and you have the choice to keep spanking his bottom or abide by the safe word and stop spanking his bottom. And if you keep spanking his bottom, then you've betrayed his trust, and the game will lock you out for X amount of days. And so you can't actually play the game for, say, 5 days. And no matter what you do, if you uninstall the game, reinstall it, try whatever you want, the game will not let you play it again.
There was actually a Flash game that did that too, that was basically a end of the world situation.
Yeah.
I think it was called You Have One Chance.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, you just making it clear before we move on, because we are running out of time, the technology is there to make that happen.
I have a question.
Quick.
Yeah.
It's very simple, really. Go.
What game was this?
I don't
What,
know.
Victor's game?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like. No, you don't need to give me the title. Tell me after.
I'll look for it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I wanted to move on
lost
because
over that.
there's like the next two are very important, but we've got like 4 minutes left in the show.
So let's do the free-to-play stuff, because that's going to be the main point.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
say
I think the DLC
I was
expansion's kind of crap.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do we want to talk about microtransactions and DLC and expansions, or do we want to talk about
I think
free-to-play?
microtransactions.
I guess we can talk about macros in free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, who wants to go first?
DLC and expansions are good. Done. Next topic.
No, they're bad. They're bad.
Okay, DLC and expansions are bad. Next topic.
Expansions are good.
Buy the
DLCs
next
are bad.
SWTOR expansion.
That's what I'm saying. Expansions are good. DLCs are
Nothing
bad.
worse than when you leave for a big work trip on a Thursday, and you turn up to the hotel and you go to log in, and there's a 1.4 gigabyte download to play LOL again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And you
Okay.
go, well, I've got a 600 megabyte limit at my hotel, so in 4 nights I can play some
Let's
LOL.
go have a fap. All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay, so free to play games. League of Legends is a free to play game. And
Yes, it is.
I really like the League of Legends system, where it has microtransactions in there, but it's not a system in which the microtransactions are so prevalent that you need to spend so much money on this game just to unlock more of the game. It's not something like that. You play the game in order to get more of the game through their IP and RP system. IP you earn through playing, and you can buy champions, and you can buy runes and things like that with IP. You just can't buy cosmetic things like skins. And also for the player who would like to speed himself up and doesn't want to spend hours grinding out IP, he can buy more champions with RP. That is a system I very much like. And I also like that runes cannot be bought with RP,
Yes,
because that
that
does
is
not
not
give
my
anyone a bought advantage at any point in the game.
Yeah, because they're
Yep,
not paid to
I'll
win.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a system that I very much like. And I've had people argue with me that, because you can buy champions, the people who are buying champions get the bigger advantage. Now, I bought every champion in the game, but I do not think that if you buy every champion in the game with RP, that you have an advantage over someone who hasn't and is trying to grind the IP to buy all their champions. Because in the time it takes for you to, say you buy a champion, and you play the shit out of that champion till you have enough IP to learn the next champion, then you've learned that champion, and now you're starting to learn another champion, and you repeat that process. If you're buying with RP, you'll buy every champion in the game, and not know how to play any of them. Okay,
And then you're going to be completely useless.
I've bought the newest champion, and I've gone into a game against someone who's halfway through grinding a champion he bought with IP. I'm probably going to lose because I bought him with RP. I don't know what I'm doing. I've bought every champion in the game. I'm just playing whatever the fuck I feel like playing. I don't fucking know. I'm stupid. So yeah, that's why I like the League of Legends system, and that's why I think that is a good system for a lot of games to go by.
Now, here's an example of a real failure of a microtransaction system. I've got one if no one else does.
Or
Pretty much any mobile app game.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I'll bounce off
game quotation marks. Continue.
Dungeon Keeper by EB Games.
Yep.
Sorry, EA
EA
Games.
games. EB games don't
by
make
EB.
video games.
I
They do,
love
but they're just
the
not as
original Dungeon Keeper. I looked at that game, and I went, it is going to take me 24 hours to mine a block of dirt, unless I pay more money.
Turn it off.
And I said, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I actually read an article of someone who said they dropped $100 on the game to test what would happen. It pretty much didn't even progress them beyond a day. They said it was the greatest waste of money they could have dropped on a game.
Yeah.
Anything...
You see, there's a problem here. It's because they're made by EA.
Yeah, well...
There's the big... You forgot. Everyone forgets about that part, but I didn't forget. It's
But
made by EA.
The difference here is, some people will still enjoy that style of game. Because that's what Clash of Clans is. I've never played that either. But some people really enjoy these... You have to wait so many minutes. Because they're the sort of person that is on their phone all day and is always using it. So they don't care.
Well,
what's
the
doing.
timed system doesn't really support the people who are on their phone all day, because it's going to take me 6 hours to build this.
I'm going to have a bit of a fap.
Yeah, but I
Best thing
mean,
to do.
all the socialites, so they're messaging people, or they're just checking their phone every 10 minutes because they're at work, or whatever.
That still doesn't help them, though. That still doesn't help them. It's... Okay, it's going to take me 6 hours. I'm going to do something else now. Whether it's on my phone, whether it's on my computer, where it's down the street shopping or whatever. If it's going to take me, if it's going to take me 6 hours, I'm not going to turn it on again for 6 hours. I don't think that's a bad system. I think that's a good look. Oh, just check up every now and then. Okay, that's good. Because like, these don't have batteries strong enough to let me play a game all the way home on the train. My fucking phone will die. Straight away, I had a game on my... I had Call of Duty Zombies on my phone for a long time. It cost me $12.
That was a great game.
I played it on my phone. And my phone would have died in half an hour. Like, the battery could not sustain that. So Call of Duty Zombies was... iPhone was not a platform for COD Zombies, but I still played it because I loved COD Zombies. Now,
It's like I play Hearthstone, and I'm like, okay, I can play about 3 rounds, and my battery goes from 100% to 30.
so yeah, that kind of system, because I have a game on my phone called My Singing Monsters, and that's the time system. They earn... Yes, thank you. I check in on the game every now and then, collect my money, do my duties, and then I move on and I do something else. But then I have games like, say, Piano Tiles. I have Piano Tiles on my phone, I'll open it up, I'm really bored, and I'll sit there and I'll just play Piano Tiles. And it's a really simple, fun game that's just going to fill some time for me.
Is that a
And-
rhythm
It's
game?
basically the new kid's Snake.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What?
Is
or
it
like-
a rhythm game?
You don't know what Snake is.
It's a rhythm. It's
Yeah,
a bit.
we
It's
know
a.
what
It's a
Snake
bit of a rhythm.
Everyone knows what Snake is.
It's a
Rhythm
bit of a
game.
rhythm game, depending upon what mode you play of it. I play a version of it which is like a rhythm game. But
Okay.
and then there are games like Fallout Shelter as well, which is kind of check-in, but you can sit there and just keep playing Fallout Shelter. Like, okay, I need to do this now. Okay, I move him there. I'm going to send these dudes out, and you can spend a bit of time playing that.
When that finally releases on frickin' Android...
Yeah, I just play it on my girlfriend's iPad.
I couldn't play it. All my shit fucking... Like, I turned it off for a couple hours, come back, and everything went to shit, and I was like, I'm not going to play it. I actually deleted it.
There's a little bit glitchy, but, you know, it's new.
And-
I'll fix it.
And... yeah, and then... And typically those games that have the time system will have the microtransactions to speed it up, which isn't awful, but some of them set it up in a way that if you want to get fucking anywhere in the next 10 days, you better dump us some motherfucking money.
Yeah, and that's the ones that are just
Give me
stupid.
the cashola.
And those are the ones you want to fucking avoid.
Give me my motherfucking movie check.
Okay. Now, did anyone else have something to say about the micros? Okay.
Yeah, Schwartor's one's
We're going to
pretty
talk
bad,
about
and
SWTOR
alright.
now. We're going to talk about SWTOR now. SWTOR runs on a free-to-play system with the option to subscribe. Now,
ESO also does that now.
which ESO also does, and a lot of MMOs are moving towards that system. I'd say a lot. I don't really know because
Every single
no one's really going to beat WoW, are they? WoW is staying at a subscription-only system.
Well,
Declining a bit
it's
now.
about to flop. It's about to die.
ESO is Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes. Now,
You're welcome, people.
you can play SWTOR for free. You can log on right now if you want tribal after you do the 20 billion gig download, and you can start playing SWTOR for free. And you might get through the starting area, a little bit of the first world, might start on the second world a bit, and then you might
I'll realise
and-
it's 7 a.m. and I have to go to work.
yeah, and then at that time you also might notice the game starting to feel quite a bit slow. And it's taking you a lot longer to level up, and you're getting all these abilities, and you don't have the quick bars, which is where you have bars up and down the sides of your screen. You have like 2 at the bottom of your screen, and you've got too many abilities, you can't fit them all in there, and you're not too sure what you're doing. At that point, you gotta fucking subscribe to SWTOR, or else it's gonna become very difficult to play that goddamn game. Bo?
Look, it's not very difficult. I wouldn't say it's difficult. I'd just say that
Very sluggish.
yeah, there's a very they do kind of make you subscribe.
Yeah.
It's like it's free. You if you really want to, you can get to level 55 now because McKeb's free now. But you can get to level 55, and you don't have to pay a single cent, other than having internet, and then that's it. That's fine. You get 55, you can go do flashpoints, the minimal amount that you're allowed to do. You can go do your one operation.
And also,
a week or
you're only
whatever you
allowed
can do,
one
and
crew
that's
skill.
fine.
You're only allowed one crew skill on preferred status. So if you want to do any of the
So if
crafting
you're
or
like
anything
me
like
and
that,
you like to do all the stuff, yeah.
crafting and build your own gear and sell gear on the galactic market to make millions and millions of dollars, you can't do nothing. You can't do any of that because you're only allowed one crew skill, and that might be one of your collector crew skills where you get all the stuff you need to actually build these items, and then you don't have the crew skills to actually put it all together.
Unless you have 12 characters, max.
Yeah. So I but when I think about it, I don't really think that's a terrible problem. Yes, Trouble, we are going to finish soon if that's what you're typing. Because you can treat that free to play point of the game where because I played the first 20 levels for free, and in that first 20 levels, I decided whether or not this is a game I wanted to subscribe to. And though it kind of... Stop it!
There's currently a countdown in the chat.
It went from 3 to 32.
I am not very good at typing while driving.
When I approached level 20-ish, I decided that I wanted to subscribe because I really liked the game, but also there was the influence of you kind of have to subscribe if you want to keep playing. So so if I didn't like the game at that point, I wouldn't have subscribed and I probably would have stopped playing.
So that was basically your test period before you paid for the game.
Yeah, you can look at it like that. And that's how I try and get people to start playing the game, like Scott, who didn't play the game. He just downloaded it. And now he disappears off the face of the goddamn planet. And also I have friends who I tried to get into it, and I tried to start them off that way. And then there's Bo, who I
tried to get Vic into it, and it just didn't work. He hates it.
Yeah, I hate it. And then I tried to get Bo to start playing it again, and I had to pay for it. Yeah. Okay.
Have to pay for it for me.
Alrighty. So, we've done I think we're getting up towards the hour and a half.
Yeah.
You think?
I'm gonna be. It's well past. It's a bit
Okay.
past by now. So, let's call it.
The question was value of the games. So, 10
I'm gonna
is
say I
all
like
your money.
games.
10 is all your money. 1 is nothing. Okay. What's the value of these games? Rapid fire. It'll go Tribal, Vic, then Bo. League of Legends. Go.
I pay what I feel it's worth.
And that, ladies and
Come
gentlemen,
on, 1 to 10.
No, I like mod. I'm gonna stick with mod's idea. Go.
Yes.
Mod. 0.
So, League of Legends. 0.
0.
4.
4.
There you
Yep.
go.
Right.
I'd probably place it about 4 as well, from when I did play it.
Okay. Swartor. Go. Oh.
Say
6, 7.
6. Tribal.
This
No,
rating
you're
system is crap. We talked about how crap this rating system is.
Exactly. He's just.
Thank
making
you,
it
everybody,
more-
very much for listening to the All Random All podcast.
I just had one more thing to say.
Please say it, Bo.
That's
No,
alright.
this is. Don't.
Bye bye!